the final countdown. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. I guess they could hear me. Oh, crap.
Oh, man.
All right, Coin Vault crew coming back at you again. Happy Thursday, guys. Back with, of course, myself, Big Rob, Maximus Crypto, Rue Black, and, of course, Crux of Crypto. How's it going, guys? How is everybody's week so far?
Doing terrific. Glad to be back here with Rob, Rue, and Crux of Crypto. Look at this gentleman. He's got the XRP hat. He's got the XRP shirt. He served his country, U.S. Army. He is fired up, and he is ready to go. Rue, how you doing, man?
Chilling, man. Not as sunny as I would like here in Scottsdale, but hey, we'll work with it, and let's go.
Hey, if you got some XRP, throw up X in chat. So let's hold it down. Hey, it's a red day. I get it. The sentiment's pretty rough, but I think within this live stream, we'll definitely give you some hopium and things to look forward to.
Absolutely, yeah. Market's down, but we have been expecting this for some time now, so very excited about that. Of course, we got to give a shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Elon Musk in the house. LFG, my guy. What's happening, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Thanks for the $2 super chat, Mike. Really appreciate it. It's a nice way to get things going. We all appreciate you guys. All we ask is you to consider smashing that like. But nonetheless, we're going to get into some things, and I think it's going to be a good community live show, to say the least.
Yeah, let's have some fun with it, man. Let's have some fun with it. That's what she said. Shook in the house as well. Got to give a shout out to Shook, of course. My guy, we just did a collaboration with Shook. That video should be coming out next week, covering all things XCN. So make sure you guys stick around for that. All right, guys. So quite an interesting week, right? We're expecting a peace treaty signed about 5 days ago with Trump and Iran, and then Trump goes and bombs some installations yesterday. Market crashes. So yeah, what are you gonna do? What do you guys think? Have you had just about enough of this whole, oh, we're going to sign a peace treaty in the next 24 hours, and then 24 hours later it's something negative, and then it's something, it's like every other day we're playing hopscotch here.
Rue, that's on your end?
Let's go, Rue and crew from Silver Days XRP. Thank you, Silver Days. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Absolutely. Silver Days always shows up in my lives as well. Fill in the chat. I appreciate you as well. So yeah, what do you guys think? I'm starting to think that, honestly, if you were to come, if you could go back in time, if you were in the future and you could go back in time and tell me today that we were still dealing with this Iran situation in early 2027, I got to say I probably wouldn't be shocked.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is, in my opinion, textbook manipulation. Like the whole buildup, we talked about it like 2 live streams ago, where the energy crisis, we got all these scientists missing, you got presidents hijacked from countries, and it all ties back into energy. So I think there's a lot more going on than just, nuclear capabilities. So
honestly, Rob, I would be shocked. I would be shocked if you told me it's still going on. I think it's like, Crux, you might know better than me, but I think as far as like aerial forces go, we got the number 1, the number 2, and the number 5. Like anything we want, we could just go fly in and blow it up if we wanted to.
Well, that's a misconception now. Jesse and I covered this on a podcast. We were talking about it, and they've got some weird, I don't want to dive too deep into it because of the YouTube algorithm, but they've got some weird projectiles, we'll call them, that, what do they break into like dozens and dozens of pieces now, and in the air. Like apparently they have a defense against that right now that's has been a real nuisance to the U.S. And other forces. So it's not as easy as picking daisies as it seems, right? There's a lot of nuance.
I think in the grand scheme of things, like if they took the cuffs off, allowed soldiers and Marines and everyone to really go in there and just cause havoc, it'd be over in 2 days. And I honestly believe that. I'm not trying to be biased, but I was Army infantry officer. I know the capabilities. At one point, I had 4 armored Bradleys in my platoon, signed for over $22 million worth of vehicles. And these things are no joke. We could just roll through that country and flatten it if we wanted to.
The problem is you need boots on the ground, and I know they're trying to avoid that at all costs, right?
Right, 100%, yeah.
Max, you were going to say something?
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I was strictly speaking just about the whole flyover and kind of. But yeah, I think that there's a lot more nuance to it than that. And I mean, look, I'm not saying it's going to be like an Afghanistan situation, but I mean, we were supposed to be in and out of there too, right?
Sure.
And
yeah.
How long did that last? Like a decade?
I think it boils down to what are you fighting for? So is it for the nuclear capabilities? Before we went in, we bombed their nuclear plant, we destroyed it, whatever. Everyone thought we won that battle. But now, are we fighting an ideology? Because at that point, that's a battle you're not going to win. That's whenever you take out Al Qaeda, then ISIS springs out, and it's like these guys are 10 times worse, and you just make it more and more worse. So it just depends on what you're fighting for. I'm just waiting to see what Trump's over here for.
Earlier you mentioned. Go ahead.
Oh, I think that's my channel, right? Rise Above says 80K BTC by June 5th. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Max.
Sorry, I was just navigating everywhere. Was that really on Crypto Future?
No, it's probably, I don't know. It was either
no, I think it is. Oh, okay. Well, nonetheless, let me just refresh this real quick. Yeah, let me see. We want to recognize all you guys. Shout out to you guys on the Coin Vault. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you. Rise Above, yeah, $2 super chat, 80K BTC by 5th of June. Tell me I'm wrong. Well, anybody else want to chime in on that one?
You're wrong.
Yeah, I think you're wrong on that one. I'm sorry. I also think you're wrong on that one.
80K it was June 5th, correct? Okay, so
yeah, June 5th,
what you're probably expecting is another travel up to, first of all, we'd have to go through the bull market support band and then go up to the 200-week moving average or the 200-day moving average, which historically has been the biggest indicator. We bounced off of that, and that's why I do think that we are headed lower. But I think that's where he's coming up with 80,000.
I think that Rise Above is being a smart ass, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
We love him. We love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Thanks, Rise Above. We appreciate you, brother. We got Tim Shea, the one and only Tim Shea, who sprays from far away, having everyone hit the DECK, right? The Mayor of Crypto, the Crypto Commissioner. I always got to do it. It's a tradition. Thank you, Tim. He says, over on Maximus Crypto, we ready. Iran, Cuba, mass adoption, bring it. Absolutely. Some of you guys seen those interesting AI videos, right? Where was it Trump? He's doing the flock of seagulls thing, Iran so far away, and I don't know. Might as well have a good time with it. But you should see some of the music videos, man. It's crazy. I mean, AI. I mean, I'm obviously doing things like was it Jed McCaleb, where he's sitting at the dinner table. It's 1988. He's 12, about to turn 13, and he's just someday I'm gonna change the world. And it shows the Economist magazine. But yeah, AI is getting crazy. But thank you, Tim. $5 super chat. Appreciate it, brother.
Hell yeah, Tim Shea.
What's y'all's honest take on Jed? Because I'm kind of torn. Clearly the he's a revolutionary. He's smart. He established not only Ripple Labs but XLM Stellar. But he did dump a lot of XRP tokens. So it's kind of I don't know, but his name, well, I'm not going to talk about the files, but his name was thrown in there. That's kind of sus a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just kind of torn. So I wanted to hear y'all's takes on him.
Well, I know it was a real nuisance when he was dumping every once in a while for the price of XRP, right in the middle of the lawsuit and everything too. So we're kind of dealing with a two-headed snake there. Every time things started to seem a little bit positive when that was going on, oh, guess what? We're selling more XRP. Oh, thanks, buddy.
Also, David Schwartz was really the mastermind behind the tech itself. So I have much more high regards with David than I do Jed.
Yeah, I was just trying to make a point of the whole thing. Like he's roughly 12 and a half, 13 years old when the Economist magazine came out. And, it was just kind of fitting for it. But, earlier, Crux, we were discussing some things, and you mentioned like energy. One of the things I recently covered on Maximus Crypto was this thing's called XRP and the grid. And shout out to you guys back in the day, like you held like EWT Energy Web Token. That doesn't get a lot of coverage nowadays, but it's like literally XRP is doing a lot of what they were doing. And we saw some documents where literally it mentions like an actual electrical grid. We have patents. Some of them are pending, but like they don't expire until way later. Anyway, nonetheless, it's all interesting. I saw a tweet by Monica Long. Shout out to Hugo if he happens to be here. He's always mentioning he loves Monica Long. Who doesn't love Monica Long? But again, it's just like when we talk about tokenizing, right? Like, Rue, you know about this. We're out here in the Phoenix Valley. So you either have two options. You either have basically APS or you have SRP with the Salt River project, right? And can you imagine moving forward, whether it's maybe 10 years from now? I don't know. Like, that'll put us in 2036, right? Will these be even disruptors with like the local grid system? I think so. And the evidence shows that. People didn't really care about the video, I'll be honest, but I'll put it out. And it shows clearly, like, you know what, when we talk about tokenization, it is not just one small, minute area, right? We could talk real-time gross settlements all day long. We could talk Stellar, peer-to-peer all day long. But again, it's like there's ones that are going to dominate certain aspects of tokenization, and there's going to be other ones where you have ecosystems, literally. Again, this case, energy. Again, the grid. So I thought it was interesting that you brought up a little bit of that, Crux.
And just to give my opinion here on Jed McCaleb, he's in a lot of stuff. He's in OpenAI. He was in Mt. Gox. He was in, of course, Ripple. Also in Stellar. Bro has his fingers in a lot of pies. Pause. But you knew it was coming. Yeah. But like, given that he has his fingers in all of that, like, he must be a very important person, right? Like, attached to kind of the PayPal mafia as well, Pantera Capital, like, guys so connected. So I don't know, anything Elon and Peter Thiel touch, it seems to like just turn into gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Peter Thiel, he's super dystopic. I rather like follow Elon's vision, but I'm sure Jed, probably of the three, I'd probably follow him the most.
Yeah, going back to the whole energy thing that you guys touched on, that is a big category for my stocks that I've actually been targeting for about a year or so now. Is just as much energy as I can get my hands on in terms of stocks. I have a recurring buy every through my bank every Tuesday for a package of heavy into energy stocks for sure. It's going to become more and more in demand as we move forward, especially over the next handful of years. So
definitely agreed there. Like with the whole straight arm moose thing, they've made it like this big thing with energy. Like you've seen energy stocks, energy cryptos. It's going to continue to be a big thing here coming up in the future. And I think also the agentic AI will be doing trading back and forth with carbon credits. Like, that'll be a big thing.
That's like Grand Central Station up in your house, man.
Yeah, my freaking alarm's going off, but I can't. I need to go turn that stuff off. Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you go do that. We're going to talk about the SUI network having an outage today, I believe. So, Crux, you were saying that you were kind of following that today. What's the long and short of what's going on there?
Yeah, so SUI, give me one sec. All right, yeah, so SUI went down earlier. They're made by Miston Labs, who is like the ex-Meta engineers that were creating a product called DM over there back in like 2020 to 2021. Essentially, they have a centralized blockchain. It's SUI. A lot of people, they hate it. They hate any blockchain that's centralized. I think it's okay, but what they were able to do, since it is centralized, is they're able to freeze it. And essentially, the blockchain was down for like 7 hours, I believe. No blocks were going through. I was watching the Block Explorer all day and just waiting, because we'll see. I think SUI is personally like Solana 2.0 instead of like the Saga or the Seeker. You got the OX1 Play or whatever. That's the handheld device. You have, like, instead of Rust, it's Move. Basically everything Solana did in its first cycle, SUI's doing in its first cycle. So, why would it not have a power outage? That's kind of the meme back in like 2020 with Solana going down every Wednesday. So I do think, though, if you would have paid attention to what happened to Solana this last bull market, it did very well. So I think SUI should follow in those steps.
Yeah, I've often referred to SUI as eventually it's going to have its 2021 Solana run. I think Solana really had its its coming out party in 2021. I remember watching Solana and Cadena run side by side there. The two purple and pink logos running wild, brother. And then Cadena kind of died, but
rest in peace.
Yeah,
indeed.
I got smoked. These markets are brutal.
Yeah, so I do think that SUI is going to have a Solana type run eventually here, potentially in this cycle, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I did some background research into SUI when I was looking at Swift blockchain. SUI and Aptos basically come out of Facebook Libra. Those are the projects that it kind of broke off from when, the powers that be said, Facebook, you can't have a bank. So those things got broken off. And SUI, there was some connection there with Swift blockchain. There was also some connection there with Tim Draper as well there. So I think everything that SUI could have connected to as far as like Facebook and things like that technology and those connections might still be there. So yeah, I could totally see it with the Solana like run.
Also, with the Clarity Act, we could possibly see some institutional adoption that comes back, even maybe from Meta. Maybe Meta's like, all right, the Clarity is here. Let's go ahead and invest in this. So I think the one standout thing that they've really brought to the table is the Move programming language I just referenced, but it's object oriented. So like the way that it works is much more effective, essentially. And I always look for first movers. So you brought up like Aptos, for example. I would rather buy SUI than Aptos, but I think Aptos isn't a bad project. I just rather have the team that completely made it, and that's where most of the firepower is.
Yeah, I'd like to we talked about it before, but I'd like to kind of dive a little bit into the whole decentralization versus centralization. You kind of touched on that. Do you guys think that decentralization was kind of over exaggerated in terms of importance?
Yeah, so what happened with decentralization is Bitcoin, it sprung, it did its thing. And everyone's like, all right, this next project has to be Bitcoin, but it doesn't. The only thing that needs to be decentralized is a peer-to-peer network. Like if I want to send money to you or whoever, that should be decentralized. When we look at like Solana, SUI, etc., I don't see it as money. I see it as like Internet 3.0. They're building DeFi, doing all these things on it. It's a lot bigger than money. So Bitcoin, big time, needs to be decentralized. Caspa needs to be decentralized. Really, anything that is focus on a peer-to-peer payments network, the decentralization needs to equal the scalability and also the security. So,
yes, we will discuss Zebec as we go through the live stream. So don't worry about that. Go ahead, Ruth.
Oh yeah, I think decentralization has been overblown. It's never go back many moons ago to W.E.D. Du Bois. He wrote this thing from when he left the NAACP saying, hey, the NAACP it's not decentralized enough. Like it's too centralized as an organization. Like, you know, too much money is going to the top instead of going to the people it's supposed to serve. So like that whole argument, decentralization versus centralization, has always been a thing. And now when you kind of look at it, we're going more centralized when we talk about things like privacy, right? We're going back towards that way. And really, we had to always go back that way because institutions, enterprises, they value privacy. They don't want necessarily people knowing how much they're paying people for a certain task. So I think it's always been overblown, and maybe always the banks were going to win, right?
Well, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I would kind of one up you on that and say that not just institutions and stuff in terms of centralization, but let's be real honest about this here. The majority of retail investors, which are not in crypto right now, we are the minority, right? They are going to need that centralization touch, right? Most people are not going to. They can look at themselves and say, I'm not responsible enough to be sovereign with my money. At the end of the day, they're just not, right? Most people, they don't want to put the extra work in. They don't want to learn self-custody. They don't want to do these things, right? They want a centralized figure that they can contact, whether it's your bank custodying your crypto or whatever degree of centralization we're talking about. They want somebody they can call and say, fix this for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
otherwise we're in agreement. I think decentralization is overblown. Like people really kind of want centralization.
Yeah, Maximus, you're going to say something.
I'm just waiting for you guys. I don't want to interrupt. So I mean, you're making some great points, but one thing I want to chime in is there's going to be people that when they come into the space for the first time, when you use the term centralization, they're like, yeah, oh yeah, Stellar, XRP, you know, all these ones, Hedera, you name it. This is all real true centralization. And centralization, they're going to get twisted. Let's just be honest. They're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I don't want that model. I want what Bitcoin was originally supposed to do. But let's also reference, again, like what we did in the documents, numerous documents. I shared them. We even done it on the Coin Vault, not just on our own channels, especially Stellar. They pointed out a semi-decentralized model, and it's been pretty consistent. Even Quant Network has cited that as well. I remember the specific Quant Network Quant Network white paper where they referenced IMF. And in the document where they cite the IMF, it specifically mentions a semi-decentralized model. Never has there been any instance whatsoever where it says full centralization or full control. It's clearly not going to be that. And again, this is what separates, I hate to say it, the narrative of, one side's like, yeah, I'm going to be a Bitcoin maxi. And the other side's like, no, we need to look into the alts because, again, semi-decentralized model. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think most normal people really don't care that, like, as long as they can spend it like they spend $1 and it's easy for them, I don't think they care. I think they've heard different type of what's the good word, like hoaxes or different type of folklore where it's like, oh, crypto's a scam, and what if all the power goes out tomorrow type of people, like
like an EMP or whatever.
Yeah. Like what if all the power goes out tomorrow, and I need some cash because, what if all the power goes out?
You need some cash? What was it? Called JG Wentworth. That's what literally. Yeah.
Nice work.
Cash now. Yeah, there we go. Anyway.
Nice work. So I don't think most people really care, but then some people that are purists, like the Bitcoin purists, right, Rob, which you dealt with at the Bitcoin conference, the Bitcoin purists and some of the other people like the Paul Barons use this against Canton, like, oh, well, true freedom of money to the people is true decentralization, right? And no,
right. We don't live in a world where people are going to be able to control their own money. And I think that, Bitcoin maxis and stuff like that, at the end of the day, it's a nice fantasy to have. And it was more popular, obviously, when Bitcoin was first came to, fruition and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, there is no scenario in this world where world governments allow, people to just be, completely decentralized money. Let's make crypto just cash, and the US dollars no longer, the global currency. That's not a world. There's not a world where that's ever going to be a thing.
Yeah, if Sui wasn't centralized, it would have died on, I guess, May 2nd, 2025. That's when it had the massive CETUS exploit, and that was like their biggest decentralized exchange. And essentially, $230 million was stolen in a single day, and 160 million of it was frozen. So the Sui Foundation, they were able to quickly spin up those validators, freeze those funds, and I think it was like 60 million of it was actually taken, and the rest was recovered. So they were able to fill up some of those liquidity pools, not all the way full back, but yeah, if they didn't have that ability to do that, they would have been smoked by now. Sui would probably be Terra Luna 2.0.
Yeah. Without the algorithmic stablecoin.
Oh man, I got wrecked by that one. I actually sold the top on a lot of my crypto back in 2021, put it into UST, and I'll get my 20% APY on Anchor. Why not? And then I got wrecked. Yeah, I sold at 38 cents. I basically lost 22K from $33,000 worth of stables. Yeah.
I remember watching my Luna bags drop every hour, every day for like a week while it dropped down. And I was like, oh, it'll bounce. Yeah. Right? It's like $100-something.
So there's this game called Steppin'. It's like you have an NFT. It's like shoes, and you can kind of breed the shoes and essentially make new shoes. And then you basically go on a run, and every day you can get rewarded in something called GST. It's like a token. You can sell it. And during that time, I would like basically hide my tears by going on runs and getting like this, this new magic token. Those went down 99.9% too. So yeah, it's bear market.
It had a nice couple months.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
Man,
it had a fire couple of months, bro.
I was out there running. Yeah.
Dude, people were like getting paid to move. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how does the company benefit from this?
I spent $7,000 on an NFT of a pair of shoes. That's probably one of my craziest stories in crypto. Yeah.
I was fortunate. I didn't get into any NFTs in the 2021 craze that was. I tried. I looked at the Shiba Inu ones, but like I was telling you guys, with the $1,000 gas fee and no certainty of actually getting an NFT after paying $1,000, I was like, I'm not paying $1,000 just to roll the dice on getting an NFT.
Exactly.
Right?
It kind of reminded me of like when we all go to maybe like a Denny's or I don't know, like your local diner, and they have the claw machine, right? It's like you're not guaranteed to get squat, but you're gonna play the thing, right? In hopes you're gonna get something, right? And people just keep wasting dollars and quarters and over, and then let's times that by literally like 1,000, right? Because again, the gas fees and so on. But yeah, I can't blame you. I would have stayed away from that too. The most I ever paid in gas fees, I'm not proud of it, but it's part of the journey. We live and learn, right? So it was a little over $300. Maybe it was high as $350, but something like that.
Heck no.
Oh yeah, back in the day, shoot, man, 2021, 2022. It's like some memes. Some
Ethereum?
memes you needed to get. I'm not talking about Shiba Inu, but I'm talking about like other just memes like degen stuff.
Yeah. Was it on Ethereum that you were?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's why the L2s came in clutch this last cycle. So I have high expectations of Ethereum post 2028. I would not be buying it. I know it's crazy. Ethereum sub 2K right now. There's better projects out there. I think even Sui Solana, we talked about that earlier. Wait for Ethereum, because those L2s are going to continue to just take. And until that main layer fixes their scalability issues, you're going to have some problems.
It's all about the multipliers. I mean, shout out to, Crypto Mike, Elon Musk in the comments. Like, people will look at the face value of any coin or token, like in this case, Ethereum, and it'd be like, well, look at that price. And then once that goes a little bit higher, they're like, oh man, I made a killing, right? Well, I mean, okay, let's use the example of of a $2,000, I guess you could say, Ethereum. All right, so it doubles. You're now at 4K, but there's other, again, alts that can, I mean, do way better than that. Shout out to you guys on the Patreon. My God, like we covered BAS, right? Binance attestation service. I took a screenshot. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago. We did a 5.5x since last November. Sure, there's many projects, but again, it's all about the X's, right? On that multiplier. And again, the best return on your investment. Anyway.
Yeah. So earlier today, I was giving a portfolio review with somebody. And we talked about like Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin, I still think is a solid project. I think most people should have more Bitcoin than really everything else. But this is just a risk reward metric for most people, not everyone.
Oh, there goes half our audience. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. As I'm wearing XRP. So it did an 8.2 from 15.5 to 162 like this last cycle. But I think we have to look at it different from here on out, because I personally believe the 4-year cycle is going to break. And if we go to 2029, like hit that peak that most people expect, really, if it just hopefully keeps going up from there. So we go to like 250K, I think, by 2029. And I think the institutions will break that 4-year cycle. So I don't look at it anymore like it's only going to get the 8X. I look at these as like we are about to hit escape velocity and there is no more cycles to bring us back.
Interesting. I'm a 4-year cyclist guy myself, and I do think that at some point, I think that the 4-year cycle will break. I mean, everything that has a beginning has an end, obviously, right? And
Right.
I do think at some point that will be the case, whether it's this cycle or the one after that. We'll have to see. But I think that the main driver, I think, that will cause that, I mean, while we have institutional adoption is a big deal, but we're only really seeing the initial phases of adoption, and that's mainly in the financial rails, right? It's primarily what we're seeing. We're seeing, a couple of projects that are being added to treasuries and stuff like that, here and there. But I think it kind of looks en masse in terms of adoption, like the financial rails is what's really the first, and it should be plainly obvious why. I mean, our financial systems, our economy is the most important thing, right? So obviously they're going to want to upgrade, all of the financial rails. So you're seeing these early winners, the ISO 200.22 tokens for the most part. Your XRPs, your XLMs, your H bars, your quants, your Zebecs, all that stuff. But I do think that adoption is going to come in layers as we move through narratives and stuff, right? AI, DPIN. But I think that the priority right now clearly seems to be the financial rails. What do you guys think?
You're talking about like AI in comparison to crypto?
Just by narrative, like which cryptos are starting to get adoption first, because I think it's not going to be a flip of the switch like people want. It's going to be a natural progression, I think, organically of, which narratives are prioritized in terms of adoption. And then once we get enough of these narratives adopted, that's when we'll start to see these cycles kind of taper off, and then we see more of a stock market. But another factor for me, this is just me, and you guys can answer the question, we're looking at a $72 trillion market cap for the S&P 500. We're looking at a $2.5 trillion market cap for crypto. I don't think we're anywhere near crypto tapering off in terms of potential returns like the stock market.
Yeah,
Right, so-
there's some. Go ahead.
Let that both go first. So yeah, it's like you said, Rob. I think it's financial cryptos first, but I think AI is kind of tethered itself to financial cryptos. We were doing a pre-record today where we were talking a little bit about this with the Stellar stuff, right? And I really think the whole deal that the DTCC announced with Stellar, they're going to use agentic AI to do the trading of these treasuries and these stocks in treasuries of enterprises, right? And I think that's going to give so much of a big burst of liquidity to the stock market, to these ETFs, and consequently to crypto as well. That's why we're seeing a lot of these cryptocurrencies be put into ETFs. So now these agentic AI could trade those ETFs back and forth, right? And we're going to see the benefits and liquidity for both the stock market and the crypto market.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That was the point I was going to make in regard to DTCC. So, shout to Smoke. He shared, I guess you could say, kind of like a documentary style clip on X. I retweeted it. I also have a video I was going to put out right around this time, but I didn't want to conflict with our live show, so I'll probably just delay it until tomorrow. But it specifically mentions in detail about DTCC and how they've been around for 50 plus years. And it literally answers a question that a lot of people are asking, which is, what exactly is the DTCC and what exactly does it do? And then you get examples of key people that have been literally in these markets dating back to the 60s. So like these people are obviously like, in their 70s, 80s. And it's, again, the shift. So when you guys heard from Crux, when he was saying like Internet 3.0, a lot of us call it like Web 3, we're going to the fourth industrial revolution. Keep in mind that, yes, we could say yes and no as far as what's going to happen in regard to adoption, right, Rob? In regard to would we see overnight, to the moon on some of these things, or would it be a stair step? To me, it's a yes and no, and this is my answer. I'll give everybody. I do think it's a yes and no, depending on the project. And where I'm going to go with this, you guys know me. I cover a lot of quant. Q&T, say what you want. That very, very limited supply. In my opinion, like probably the best tokenomics of anything out there, way better than even BTC and whatnot. With that said, it's something about supply and demand forces. So recently, we've been covering a lot on the Coin Vault, our individual channels, about the whole idea that you have examples that, like, could you have an asset that would run based off of positive catalysts? Well, you guys are seeing that happen today, but we don't see a lot of those examples. And what I mean by that is, again, look at the 24-hour period for Stellar. It's up roughly 25 to 35%, right? It's had pullbacks and whatnot. It's been a while since you had a positive catalyst, but that's a huge positive catalyst. And again, first half, according to the documents, of 2027, and everybody's covering this, right? Even you, Rue. 2027 is when you see it being reflected on things like Stellar. Well, we know about like things like Canton. We know about so many other DTCC connections. Again, honorable shout out to Zebec. Would that be the next positive partnership moving forward? I mean, let's not forget that literally see Simon Babakani. He's doing a handshake with Nadine Shakar. And who is she? She's the head of digital or DTCC. So when I look at like bringing in the traditional markets, we're clearly doing that. And if anything, we're tokenizing that. Back to what Rob was talking about, the stock market alone, was the example you made, like 70 trillion or something like that? And again, that's just stock market. Like there's so many other things, like derivatives, in my opinion, is the biggest whopper of them all. But yes, again, it's a yes and a no. I mean, there's going to be lockups. Again, back to the whole thing. XRP technically is deflationary. I know we talk a lot about Stellar, but I still have to go back to the whole idea that, you know what? Look at these exchanges. I mean, we did talk about Q&T. It's still hovering. I know I say this all the time, but it's still hovering anywhere between 200,000 Q&T and like 225,000 Q&T. Are you kidding me? So to be able to get it for like us retail, that's all that's left. Some people point out, well, why doesn't some big institution just come in and take it all? For the same reason they don't do the same thing with some of the other projects and whatnot. You have to keep in mind is compliance. A lot of them have stated that they can't necessarily hold a large amount on their balance sheet. What am I referring to? I'm literally quoting things from a white paper from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority years ago. There's a key person, Rue, I think you remember this. His name is Sagar Sabarhai, anyway. He used to be part of Ripple. He went on to go over to Fireblocks. Okay, Fireblocks. Remember, Rue? It's like they hold Q and Quant holds the master key for freaking Fireblocks. We can look more into that, and we did. So to me, it's like, yes, there'll be yes and no when it comes to supply shock. There'll be yes and no when it comes to the ones that will get sent And that's why I like to diversify. I look at like some of these things like they're lottery tickets, and I'm just waiting for my number to be called. What do I mean by that? I'm waiting for my QNT to be called. I'm waiting for my XLN to be called. I'm waiting for my XRP to be called, my SHX, on and on and on. I saw somebody in the comments, they mentioned like my thoughts on BSV. Believe it or not, BSV would be my number one if it had all the key partners and the 1,700 NDAs that something like Ripple would have. But it doesn't. That's no FUD on something like BSV, but that's just the way I'm looking at it.
I like that view, Max. And I really think once the US figures out clarity, the UK will figure out FCA, and then maybe we see Quant take a ride north.
Yeah, I wanted to get into a couple of these comments. Beebs, got to give a shout out to Beebs, of course. He says, any concerns about Ondo's CEO passing away? Now, what I would say, for me personally, I don't have any concerns in regards to it, because I've kind of watched what the company is, how the responses have been and stuff. But I would say I would watch Tim Warren's video on his channel in regards to it, because he does address the state of Max got me thinking about Quant, of Ondo, and kind of what the future might potentially look like. So I would go watch that video for sure. You guys, thoughts on Ondo's CEO passing away?
I just a little bit. I want to be able to have these guys chime in. So the way I look at it is kind of like this, all right? We're talking about technology here. I mean, not downplaying, you know, it sucks to see anybody or any project that we cover where a CEO can go, right? But I also look at it from the perspective, we are talking about technology, and the technology shouldn't just be reliant on obviously CEO. Now, some people, and again, I want to get some of you guys' thoughts about this, will say, yeah, Max, but what about like if somebody like, God forbid, your Vitalik passed away, that would dramatically impact Ethereum. And I would have to agree with that.
Because he wouldn't be selling it off all the time anymore.
Well, that's where I want to get some of your thoughts on it. So go ahead.
Just putting that out there. I don't know. I agree. It would be impactful to Ethereum for sure, right? But who would step up and kind of take the reins, right? We know that one of the other devs stepped in as CEO for now of Ondo, and has announced that, you know, everything is, the plans are not changing in terms of the direction of the company or anything along those lines. So, but Vitalik was more of a public face, and not that he wasn't, you know, the main creator of Ethereum or anything like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, so Vitalik being like a developer himself, he actually received a $100,000 what's it called, a grant from Peter Thiel. So anything Peter Thiel touches, y'all, you know, not financial advice, but I'd probably get a little exposure to. So he is the developer. I think it'd be a much bigger issue. You know, first of all, rest in peace, Nathan Allman. The dude was young. I actually went in depth in my first Ondo video, kind of covering who he was. I did a good background check on him. And I think that company has a lot going for it. So I don't think it's going to change the direction, and definitely, especially him not being like a lead developer or like a David Schwartz type figure. I think it's not really going to hinder the performance of the network itself.
It's really weird. It kind of reminded me of how, I know it was a homicide, so it's a little different, but how Bob Lee of MobileCoin just all of a sudden died by stabbing. Like there were no details. We don't even, like, they didn't put out an age. They didn't say what happened. So that was just really weird to me. So
yeah, somebody in chat just mentioned Plume, which is another real world asset play, and their CEO almost a year to the day ago, he actually died. So I thought that was interesting. Two real world asset plays. I'm not trying to make any ties to it. But those are both big RWA plays, and their CEOs died a year apart.
Yeah, two great projects too. At the end of the day, I'm a big fan of Plume. We got into Plume really, really early in our community about a year ago, right around the time it, right after it became available on exchanges. We started getting into it. I can't remember. Did they do a pre-sale? They did, didn't they?
Yeah, so Plume launched in January of 2025, like pretty early, but before that, in December, they were doing some fundraising.
Yeah, we were watching the fundraising, and then as soon as we were able to scoop it up from it, we got right into that one.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Shout out to Underdog Research, by the way, who covers Plume pretty extensively as well.
His ears will all of a sudden ring again, and then he'll be summoned into the chat out of nowhere. And just mark it, guys. I got a feeling. I just got a feeling because it's been happening on a frequent basis. Shout out to Underdog Research channel. So,
yeah. Somebody I read in the comment section this morning on the video we covered the other day over on CoinVault, and the comment was something to the effect of somebody from Ethereum must be paying us because
what? Where's the money?
Yeah, it was because we were talking about other networks like Solana, I think, and they're like, oh, well, one of the projects on Ethereum must be paying. I was like, what the hell?
No, I think this person probably has a personal subscription to Sun Magazine or National Enquirer or some of those particular things, because as Jerry Maguire would say, I mean, show me the money. Where's this money that you're talking about?
I know I live in Scottsdale, but if someone was actually paying me, I'd probably be in Morocco on the beach somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, it's like, geez, where's my 59 Impala, convertible by now, right? I've been talking about that for a while.
I'm pretty sure I just said that, I wouldn't buy any Ethereum, until 2028.
Yeah.
And if I was getting paid, I wouldn't be, telling people that.
There's always going to be one person. If anything, there might be a troll. So anyway.
Yeah. I think it was Beebs that asked if we could talk a little bit about the token equilibrium.
Oh, Beebs? No, scam.
Yeah.
Move along. Thank you.
Yeah.
No respect.
Rue and I have had many conversations on the channel about the equilibrium and Canton and Paul Barron going after them and stuff, and how I made a beeline for Paul Barron at SRP Las Vegas.
Oh man, how'd that go?
Well, how do you think it went? A big old freaking Canadian juggernaut charging after you like a freaking bull. How do you think it went?
Now what you want to say, Paul?
Talking, bro.
Hey.
You grab Canton. What's up, bro? What's up? Oh, you ain't got nothing to say now.
Yeah, you don't know nobody, huh?
That's funny.
Oh man, we joke. But yeah, Rue, I don't know if you got any thoughts on the equilibrium. I just, the only thing I can really say about it is that I find most people who FUD the minting process of Canton often leave out the other half of the equilibrium and the burning mechanism to counter the minting mechanism, right? And it is a different way of doing things. I'll give it that. Not obviously no other projects that I can think of off the top of my head are doing that. And it could blow up in their faces at the end of the day, right? A lot of times projects try certain things like, I don't know, algorithmic stablecoins connected to their projects. And
right. I don't know about that. Nothing to see.
Shout out Athena. If you're holding Athena, don't go dump it. But basically any other one, dump it. Yeah.
Got no Canton partner.
What do you think?
Inside joke we have anyway.
Well, I think they have everything under control. Everything under control. There has to be a balance. If they're having all that money and all that minting coming through Canton, they have to have really strict controls on it, or otherwise it'll just be at the moon. So, but with everybody involved, the visas, the Societe Generales of the world, the Goldman Sachs of the world, the Broadridges of the world, like
Jesse told me how to pronounce Societe Generale. He's like, it's Societe Generale, oui. I'm like, wow, all right.
What is he from Montreal over here?
He's in that area. So anyway,
okay, there we go. So yeah, I really, with all of those institutions involved, they'll make it pump at some point for sure. Damn, missed the pause there. But they'll make it pump at some point. So yeah.
Hey, TotoCap616, thank you so much for supporting us, and thanks for dropping that super chat over on Maximus Crypto, $10 super chat. It's more than appreciated. I had to state this, maybe it's bad, no pun intended, but every time I see literally an RV, I immediately think of Breaking Bad. There's a RV, it looks just like yours, my friend, down the street, right? Every time I drive past it with me and my friends and whatnot, we're like, oh, Walter White's up in there. Heisenberg, that's where he lives. He ain't fooling nobody. Anyway, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, yes. Thanks everybody who's sending super chats and supporting the channel. Keeps the lights on, keeps us doing what we're doing. Absolutely.
You know what? Maybe he meant to include this in the super chat. So it's right below his comment that right below his super chat. He says, "Hey, I got paid, so I said I contribute, so I have. Keep up the good." Oh, in reference to what we're talking about in regard to the Ethereum. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Nice. Absolutely. So prediction markets. You guys think that the degens are just about finished over there and ready to move on now that we're having so many different legal battles with the regulations? Something does have to be done. Let's be real here. There is so much manipulation in these prediction markets right now. Last time we got together, I think I referenced the guy who bet that someone would run on the soccer field in a pink onesie or something like that, and he ended up doing it himself and made like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something like that, because everyone was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And then he went and did it, right? So there's a problem here.
No, there is. You're 100% right. And I think we mentioned this on the Coin Vault, right? So I remember us three covering that. So there's prediction markets, and then that's not a prediction. That's a 100%. Again, I remember the quote because I quoted Charles Barkley, right? He's always saying 100% guaranteed, right? We got to get to that game, by the way. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, there needs to be some rules in place. I mean, if you're going to have somebody who's going to literally guarantee 100% chance, like, oh, I know what's going to happen 100%, then that's not really like a prediction. That's a are we turning prediction markets into guarantee markets? And if that's the case, shouldn't there be rules and regulations in place? And again, so I think where you're going with this is, would degens flock back to like your Uniswaps or whatever, or your degen plays moving forward? And I think the answer is it depends. I'm going to call it right now. I think when we do get full clarity, whenever that is or whenever that happens, at some point, maybe people get a little bit bored. I mean, I can't imagine you get bored with the prices going to the moon and then some. But there will be a crowd of people, right? Like degens are going to be like, I miss the days where I can make 100x on a meme coin and whatnot. Well, what platforms should I go back to? I think we should pay attention to whatever platforms those are. Would it be your Uniswaps? That's been a terrific play I've been in and out of since 2022. Shout out to Tim Shea, if you're still in the comments. I remember we used to cover like Uniswap back to like, what was it, $1.43, something like that? Maybe even cheaper, $1.29, give or take. Anyway, $20 super chat from somebody. Let's see what channel it's on. Go ahead.
Coin Vault.
Coin Vault. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Either Rob or Rue.
Crypto Genie, thank you so much for supporting the channel as always, guys. You know, your super chats, like I said before, greatly appreciated. It's definitely not taken for granted. So thank you so much for for supporting us and backing us up and stuff like that.
Here's the thing, Max. I don't think it's for us. I think it's for the children, right? I'm hearing from certain.
Oh, you're quoting Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang
for the children. Hey. That's right. Well played, sir. Well played. Well played. But I think the betting is for the kids. I'm hearing from certain teachers that the kids are sports betting in class, right? Like, so I can only imagine when like things like metaverse and things get here. Oh man, these kids are going to be strung out on betting, which like, I don't know. Maybe they need to put something in place so kids can't do that, but will they?
They're doing the exact opposite. They're gamifying it. Like Las Vegas is seeing a little less tourism, but they're switching it up. They're bringing the gaming into it. I think I put like gambling in 3 different categories. You have like this one where you're just hitting this button over and over. It's like 50-50, whatever. Then you have like sports betting where there's skill involved. So like, all right, OKC is going to beat San Antonio tonight, and here's the odds, you know? And then the third one is what is manipulative. So some person in the chat just mentioned, you know, the hair dryer, you know, on the sensor, bringing up the temperature. So they're going to have to figure it out. I don't think it's that difficult, honestly. It's really just kind of bringing betting back to where it was like 10 years ago. But the prediction markets are more easily accessible. They just kind of have to function which ones are allowed to actually be presented on Robinhood, Coinbase, or whatever.
It kind of
a great point.
It kind of takes me back to 2019, 2020, my DGen days. Man, I was part of a Telegram group at the time, I remember, and it was just meme coin central, right? We were on MetaMask, and we were just like by the second watching new meme coins drop.
Oh man,
we'd buy it. It would just go up like 200-300% in like 10 minutes, sell it. And it was just a group of degens that were buying and dumping on each other for hours.
Like 2021 going into 2022 crypto winter, there was a lot of that going on as well. So yeah,
it was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So this is going to be our first cycle where we have launch pads that are already created. You know, like Pump.Fun didn't really make its debut until like mainly 2023. So there's like 2022, like that bear winter and stuff. I think this is going to be crazy. Like Let's Bonk.Fun, all of these like meme pads are just ready to go. And the moment that Bitcoin hits a new all-time high and it's on CNN and Fox, people aren't going to buy Bitcoin. You know, they're going to be buying those memes trying to catch up because you can get 0.00001, you know, for like a couple cents. You can be a she millionaire or whatever. And I do think that no matter what, as long as crypto's winning, you cannot say memes are not also going to pump, because that's just how it works with like risk curves. Like the least risk goes up, everybody starts hearing about it, then they start buying like the most risky, trying to catch up, and people get burnt that way.
I'm glad that you brought up, you know, you literally said meme pad, and Rob, we know, you know, Jasmine, it's literally called meme pad. And the way I look at it is, I mean, in Japan, they're all over like anime. Shout out to you, Rue. You're really into anime and whatnot. I mean, literally, it's still part of your logo of your channel, right? But the way I look at it is like, I mean, come on, there's things like Pokemon, there's Dragon Ball Z, and you know, say what you want. You're talking about this core audience, right? Like your Gen Z audience and whatnot. And I guess even moving forward, I mean, probably like Gen Alpha, right? So, would we have a new shift of this younger audience? Yeah, we would. Back to what you're talking about with gamify, right? So like one example I'm thinking of is Korea. I don't know if you guys know it, but like South Korea is completely illegal. It's like a felony if you basically get caught hacking in an online video game. I wish they had that over here. I mean, my goodness, like how many people are using online hacks in video games? I use a reference like, how small is your you-know-what? Like you're just portraying the whole world how small it is when you go online and play Call of Duty or Battlefield, some of these other games, and you have a wall hack or aimbot and so on. So, yeah, gamification, yeah, it's a real thing, man. You know, shout out to DPG. We had our built-in anti-cheat, and when it caught you red-handed, it would literally say like XYZ Billy Bob was banned for 19.4 years for having a small. And then he would go to our forum, fill out a sheet for being unbanned, and it said, what were you banned for? And it said, I was banned for having a small. And we would just, you know, it's like, well, how do I get unbanned? Maybe donate $200 to our server rent because we pay $550 a month. That's back when we were into everything. But anyway.
Well, and I often talk about that too, like, when I was saying, you know, which priority in terms of narratives are being adopted and stuff, I do believe that at some point, now obviously it's more of a degen situation, so it's not going to be anytime, you know, soon, but the Web3 gaming and metaverse narratives are going to absolutely explode, in my opinion. If you look up, you know, how many people just in the United States alone play video games, it's absolutely insane. It's literally taken over as America's favorite pastime, from children to parents to, you know, whether you're playing on a console, on a PC, or on your cell phone, right? Tablet, whatever. Everyone's playing video games.
Right. And that's
100%.
globally. And just real quick, before the super chat. So
All good.
you had like Axie Infinity in the Philippines. A lot of people were making a living off of that. There's this game that I grew up on. It's called RuneScape, you know, and their
Yep, I remember
currency.
RuneScape. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out if you're playing RuneScape. Their currency was actually pretty valuable to a sense where like you can make like $5 an hour by grinding on the game. And if I live in Venezuela where I can only get maybe maybe 2 dimes an hour working one of the best jobs, then of course I'm gonna play the video game. And it's interesting, but I think gaming is here to stay. So I agree with you, Rob.
Yeah. Rue, that's over on your channel, brother.
Oh, what is up? Purple Rain with the $10 super chat. Shout out to Ruel, Maximus, Rob, and Crux. Thanks for all you do on the super app with ZBCN, getting some of the low and XRP, bringing that heat with these videos. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for that.
We got the
we appreciate you.
Guys.
Appreciate all you guys. I just want to state that real quick. Didn't mean to interrupt you, Rob. All you guys who are dropping your support for our individual channels and even the Coin Vault, thank you so much for blessing us. We understand it's your guys' hard-earned money, but it's something to mention, and that just to do things like that, especially like in these bearish times, we can't thank you guys enough. Thank you.
Yeah, especially when the market's bearish for sure. But yeah, going into the metaverse, wait till I remember 2021. Yeah, I'm sure you guys remember how big that was, man. And I don't think it's gone. I think it's just, what happened was we shifted towards AI, which pivoted into RWAs and the financial rails, and those things are just taking priority right now. We saw there is serious interest from franchises globally in the metaverse. We saw in Sandbox alone, I'm going to try to bring up a map of it, but all of these companies were buying plots of land. They were registering trademarks for their logos and everything so that they couldn't be used in the metaverse. It was seriously being adopted, right?
Yeah, Animoca Brands was a behemoth in 2020, 2021. They're creating.
We cover a lot about Animoca Brands. So that was our first Coin Vault deep dive. Shout out to all you guys remember that video. That was pretty solid. We're looking to probably do an update in the future about that. And
good one. Not to cut you off, but Foundry USA. As you look into Grayscale and you start to see all of the stuff.
You're 100% right. No, I'm familiar.
Crazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I said, guys, I think I said last week, I was like, shout out to Crux. He studied up, man. He knows the stuff, man. So,
I got the tinfoil, but I also read the white paper. So we're good. I got it.
We're in alignment of that. I mean, you talk about obviously Animoca, VCs. I mean, Rue has probably at this point literally written a Web3 book on how to look into, VCs, especially with your deep dives into Draper. Shout out to you, shout out to Underdog. And then not only that, when we talk about Swift blockchain, I mean, some of the the sister side of it, right? I mean, with MetaPath and stuff like that. So anyway.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this list to generate of all of these massive companies that bought up plots of land. I mean, you had Walking Dead, McDonald's, Sega, Atari, Binance, even the exchanges, right? Binance and Coinbase.
Remember Snoop Dogg? He launched that concert. Yeah, that was peak euphoria. Man, people were buying real estate. Snoop Dogg, Justin Bieber was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, Snoop did a concert, I think, in the Gala metaverse, didn't he? Gala Games metaverse.
I think he did one in Sandbox, but he also did something with Cardano too, where he did something with one of their metaverse people. Yeah.
And so, also, I mean, he's collaborated. Yeah, he is. I mean, Tune FM. Shout out to you guys that you're in that.
Yeah, listen to this list of companies that bought plots of land in the metaverse. Atari, Adidas, Binance, Gucci, HSBC, JP Morgan, Molson Coors. It's a Canadian beer company, if you guys don't know. I think it's
good.
I'll stick to my American beer.
I'll
No.
stick to my PBR.
Yeah, I know. I drink water once in a while too.
Damn.
Oh man.
Wow. He just
Rob literally was like,
Yeah.
hold my beer. Like, literally, hold my beer.
Ready for that one? Yep.
Right? Like, whoa, all right. Papa Doc, what you going to do? Like,
Samsung, Ubisoft, UPS, like Warner Bros. Like it's insane, the list of these massive companies that are all there, and that just shows the interest. So just based on that, now do I think that companies like Mana and Sandbox are going to come roaring back? Probably not. I mean, I know that Sandbox dumped a crap load of their tokens in circulation over this last cycle. So getting back to their all-time high of, I think it was almost $9, seems like quite a tall task, considering I think it was like 60% of their tokens they dropped into circulation. So
yeah, I still hold Sand. It's the only metaverse play I still hold. Been holding it for a very long time.
And again, I think metaverse is for the children. I think it's something that they're going to implement to kind of give them jobs once AI takes all of it. AI and robots, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, Crux, I think they kind of soft launch Axie Infinity to see if it will work to like have a country like the Philippines or something like that replace salaries, right? And have people kind of live off that and see if it worked, and it did, right?
Yeah.
Well, I remember some governments were in the initial discussion phases of how to tax jobs in the metaverse. And I remember having this conversation and saying, it doesn't make sense for the government to tax you income tax on your job if you work inside a metaverse, because your taxes, your income tax is supposed to go to maintaining the environment that you live in, right? Whether it's for paying to have police officers, fire departments, right? Road conditions, all these kinds of things is what your taxes are supposed to pay for. So if you're not using those things, why are you paying taxes from the metaverse?
Don't Canadians pay more taxes than Americans?
Oh, dude,
I'm pretty sure y'all got wrecked. Y'all still get wrecked. They're going to get their money.
It's absurd.
Like, we got Uncle Sam. I'm not sure who you have, but
we got his evil twin brother.
I have family that lives over in Europe, and some of the taxes that they pay. I mean, I have two twin cousins. They live over in Germany, and the other one lives in Spain. And some of the horrendous amount of taxes that they paid for being single was like 50%. So like here in the U.S., it's just like roughly 33% of my income goes to taxes. It's like I can't even imagine 50%. So anyway.
Well, the simple concept of tax is just like, I use this analogy all the time. You buy a brand new Dodge Ram, right? Silverado, whatever it is you like, and then you pay your tax on it, and then you sell it, and then you pay tax on the money you made to sell it. But the person who bought it also pays tax on the fact that they bought it. Like that vehicle, if it gets bought and sold 10 times, that same vehicle gets taxed 10 times.
It's a scam.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, just to finish up that metaverse point, well, you take it like the Gen Z. Now that Rona, the vid happened, Gen Z meets each other more online than they do anything else. Social media is the only way they kind of talk to each other, and they have their own little vernacular with the whole abbreviations and everything like that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen we were talking about this in the Patreon open mic night. Have you guys ever seen the movie Upload or the TV series? So when they figure out how they can upload our consciousness to these metaverses, and you got, millions of consciousness running around in metaverse and paying, right, to have their consciousness on the metaverse, right? And that's the area where Gen Z basically meets each other, plays around. Yeah, I can see that being for the next generation, not only Gen Z, but for the next generation of people who want to live forever, if you will.
Can you upload mine to World of Warcraft?
Hey, maybe in a few years, bro. We're old enough that we can get there.
They could do PvP. People are gonna be trolling you all day. No way.
I think he's paid. I think he's getting paid to promote Warcraft.
Hey, that's my jam, man. That's my jam.
They brought that one back too. This is old school. Wow. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. And if you play World of Warcraft like on a regular basis, it's no longer World of Warcraft. It's World of Warcrack. Remember that? Anyway.
Yeah,
oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would. My younger days, I'd spend 8 hours, 12 hours sitting there raiding. Yeah. Speaking of taxes, quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Count on Sheep, guys. They're an American-based company that help Americans figure out their capital gains tax on crypto. They specialize in crypto taxes. Use our link down below. They will answer all of your questions. We started working with these guys because personally, I get asked tax questions all the time by you guys in the US. And unfortunately, I can't help you because I don't know lick about American taxes, and it differs from state to state. So these guys will be able to help you out with that. So use our link down below. Go ahead and ask them all the questions that you have in terms of your capital gains tax in crypto.
Absolutely.
So, anything else in the chat? Yeah, we pay like 53% in Canada of our income tax.
Hey.
Like, they get more than we do of our money. Like,
yeah. So our upper bracket in America is like 38%. They're trying to push it up to 41 or so. Thankfully, we didn't do that. But then you also have state taxes. So on top of the 38, you might get hit by 12% from California and some other states. So it just depends on mainly what state you are in America.
wow, stiff, man. Yeah, it's insane. I've been talking with the wife for a while now about either moving to a country that's far more tax friendly or getting citizenship in a country like, dual citizenship somewhere, because it is absurd. I remember I looked it up. I can't remember the exact number. There was like 60,000 people from after the 2021 cycle was over. There was like, throughout Canada and the US, I think it was over 60,000 people made life-changing wealth and left the United States and Canada for countries like the Philippines, El Salvador, Dubai, crypto or capital gains tax friendly countries, because it was absurd how much they were just being. It still is. So
yeah. So in order to do so, and to renounce your citizenship, you have to clear it all. So everything that you made in America, there's no like running and then like getting away from it. You had to sell it all and then go to live in that other country. So, but Puerto Rico, I do think they have some pretty solid laws there. Definitely. But one thing to consider. So earlier I talked about the 4-year cycle breaking. Like if you were to buy Bitcoin right now, like 75K or whatever, and it does go to $1 billion, I think by the time it gets there, you'll have probably either a legal tender or maybe no capital gains tax. So those are two things that could possibly, just cross your fingers, and you might not have to do that.
There were two guys, you remember in Vegas, there was these two guys I was talking to outside when you got there that they were telling me about this. They were Bitcoin maxis from the conference. And they were telling me about this society or this community they built in, where was it you said, Crux, just now? You were talking about?
Puerto Rico?
In Puerto Rico, I think it was. Maybe, or something like that.
Costa Rica.
But Puerto Rico, man. I mean, shout out to Wu-Tang, the fine looking butter pecan Puerto Ricans.
Indeed.
Yeah, they wanted me to check it out and go down there because they had a strictly Bitcoin community and everyone just exchanged their goods for Bitcoin and stuff like that. They didn't use fiat or anything. It was like
they tried to sacrifice you, bro. Like that sounds like a lure. I
thought Wicker Man.
You are not a maxi. You're not gonna fit in with these guys. Heck
yeah,
no.
I seen Wicker Man. I ain't falling for that.
So you brought up the Philippines, and my mom was born and raised there. She lived there from 1948 to January of '77 when she married my dad. And so I recently, about a month ago, looked into it. Seriously, can I get dual citizenship? So shout out to Crypto Mike. He's always pointing out, man, look, bro, you could be living on a beach in in the Philippines or Thailand. Well, I'm not going to pick Thailand because I actually have real family that lives in the Philippines. So I looked into it, and it said because, you know, she was born and raised there, because of how the laws are and so on. Um, Apparently, it entitles me to apply at the very minimum for dual citizenship. So why don't I just hop on this right now? For me, I want to become fluent in the language. So this is something that's going to be way, you know, years ahead and whatnot. But I'm definitely looking to it, you know.
Start learning a little Tagalog.
Tagalog,
like,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
for me, it would be the dialect, which is shout out to you guys that, you know basically Visayan, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, start eating balut.
That's southern Philippines, Mindanao, the island of Mindanao. So
Gotcha.
my mom, she went to you know, grew up in the Misamis Oriental area of that province. So
Hey guys, before we get too long in the tooth, I wanted to talk about Zebec is bringing on a guy, a Google lead, no, a YouTube lead of Gen AI. So they're doing the spaces here on June 2nd, payments in the agentic AI economy, right? After announcing that Simon was like chilling at Google. Like, I'm so excited for what they're going to say.
Yeah, I've got that reminder set as well. I can't wait to watch that.
Like, we were just talking about kind of metaverse, right? So it'd be interesting here that they can get things going where they're kind of paying creators in real time. Like, we get to do products that are getting paid. They're paying us in real time. Like, that's like a hop, skip, and a jump away from us being in the metaverse doing what we're doing right now, right?
Rob just said that the other day, a hop, skip, and a jump in one of our deep dives.
Yeah, Rue's always stealing my lines.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well, or on the movie channel. Head. That's where it came from. The movie channel. You're like, you're just gonna steal my hook anyway.
Yeah, Crux. We also run a movie channel as well. We watch the latest movies in theaters, and then we kind of review them and stuff like that too. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm not a movie buff at all. I'll tell you, I just saw Mummy, and it was all right, I guess. You know, I tried.
Yeah, we reviewed that. We reviewed that.
Terrible.
Yeah.
That movie was
I'd say
terrible, bro.
I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. All right.
There you go.
I'm gonna give you a little something, but yeah.
That movie was not leaving with something. It wasn't leaving with.
You know what's a good one? A good horror is I like the Smile series. That's like my favorite one as of late. Yes. I think they nail it. Because at the end you're like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah, they just added 1 and 2 to my Android box recently, so I might go back and watch both of them. So yeah, great series, and you know they're going to keep going with them. So.
Oh yeah, the third one's going to be great. Yeah.
With that, guys, I got to get my son to bed, so I think we are just about out of time. Final thoughts as we go around the table. Max, what do you got, buddy?
Well, I'm not going to release it tonight, but it's going to be coming out tomorrow. Be out on the lookout for a really interesting video that kind of circles back to what we talked about tonight in regard to like a crash. Is it over? There's some real interesting things being shared among the community. Shout out to Coach JV. He shared some things from Trump. We got into some other material. Again, the guy that wrote the book 1929, if you're familiar with that guy, was recently on CBS, I think on 60 Minutes. Get super deep into that. You don't want to miss that one. And just glad to be here with you guys. Obviously, Crux of Crypto in the house, and check out some of his material on his channel. And nonetheless, it was a nice discussion, a little bit different than what we normally do. But shout out to all you guys. Really appreciate it. And as Rue would say, Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang for the children. So there you go.
He's doing the 666 over here.
I'm not doing that.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Rue, you got any final thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, I'm so excited to see where agentic AI heads. Like, energy, like we were talking about earlier. I think energy, agentic AI, and payments are going to push us into the next. Are going to be some of the biggest sectors coming up here moving forward. and I'm excited to see it. And a future millionaires, it might get a little hard here coming up in June, but just know we're going to get through it, and come 2027, you're going to be really, really happy, right? Not financial advice.
Nice. Guys, I got Crux's channel up on the screen right now. Make sure you get over there, shoot him a sub. He just released a new Kita video today, and look for it because we're going to do a collaboration next week as well. We're going to cover Kita. We also did a Caspa collaboration, and so my guy knows a lot about Caspa, guys. Beebs, I'm looking at you, man. You better be subbed over here because that's a jam. Got any final thoughts, Crux? What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, man, appreciate it if y'all did drop that follow. So I would say I'm next week actually going to drop a Zebec video. So it's going to be my third Zebec video after getting initiated by y'all like 3 weeks ago. So shout out you guys for putting Zebec on my map. I also see Longview Compute. He's a content creator. I actually just for the first time checked out your channel earlier today. So cool that you are in chat supporting. So definitely give him a follow too.
We have a major announcement to mention before we close it out. Let's just all come back in the frame real quick and we'll close it out. So shout out to Rob, shout out to Rue. Guys, I'm telling you flat out, the material that we came together yesterday on, I know this, we're humble people, okay? But Rue can attest to this.
Most humble.
Rue can attest to this, everybody. I'm telling you flat out. Please listen to me on this real quick before we close it out. Nobody has shared this research. We have an absolute bombshell for Zebec and Canton with real proof, solidifying it. It will blow you away. I know people are like, oh, this is hype, but watch the video. Draw your own conclusion. But as the saying goes, all receipts are there. That video is going to air, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. And it's going to be exclusively, or I shouldn't say exclusive, it's going to be on all of our channels. Is it going to be on? I'm thinking of the other video. Sorry, I believe that's a Coin Vault exclusive. Yes, that's a Coin Vault exclusive. So definitely make sure that you give a follow over to the Coin Vault. Shout out to all you guys already on the Coin Vault. If you're still not following us on the Coin Vault, here's the channel. Drop it into the comments right now. And that's going to be exclusive on the Coin Vault. You don't want to miss that. Zebec, Canton, I'm telling you flat out, oh my goodness. I mean, Rue, just some of your brief thoughts without selling the farm.
I think that it gives 100% factual proof of a connection that we've been talking about, and it kind of already exists, but this like just shuts the door. Like this gives 100% proof.
Shut the front door.
Yeah,
Indeed.
So don't miss that. That's all we're saying. Just that's like if there's we understand everybody's busy. That's if there was one to watch, that's to watch anyway.
Yeah. We also have an XCN collaboration with Shook coming out. Lots of stuff on the docket, guys. Make sure you're tuned in because we got a lot of stuff, a lot of heaters coming. Make sure you're checking out the Patreons as well. We do a lot of extra stuff over there also, guys. So with that, have yourselves an amazing night. For everyone who sent the super chats and we're here in the chat, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for jumping over to Crux and giving him a sub as well. And we'll see you guys.
Hold on, brother. Real quick. I almost forgot. I'm so sorry. Longview Compute. Shout out to you in the comments. Guys, he is going to be our special guest next Thursday, roughly around 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So give Longview Compute also follow on his channel. He has excellent Canton coverage. He's obviously interviewed Yuval. So there's that. But look forward to that, and that will be a week from today. Same Batman time, same Batman channel. Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
No worries, buddy. Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to that conversation next Thursday. So, all right, guys. With that, we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.
God bless.
Peace.